4 years after releasing her second album, Sheryl Sheinafia finally back by releasing her third studio album titled Jennovine. In contrast with her previous album covers, Jennovine shows the close-up image of Sheryl which may let the audience to see and understand her feeling and emotion presented in her facial expression. The color of red may be associated with passion, bravery, anger, or even sexuality. The color of yellow may represent the optimistic and also cheerfulness of Sheryl. The representation of those colors are clearly noticeable in the whole album. This concept album consists of 8 tracks that mostly talks about love, but deeply they are beyond of just talking about love. And this is SALULAS Diving Deeper, Jennovine. The first track of the album titled Intro, which is unfolded with a dialogue between Sheryl and a guy. This conversation may show how Sheryl needs others' viewpoint on what she is doing, or on the other hand, she is not a selfish and egocentric person who can stand without others' opinion. But the rest of the songs show the different sides of Sheryl in shaping herself to be a better person. Going forward, the second track is titled Okay. Self-love becomes the bigger picture in this track, but aside of that, this song shows deeper meaning. Okay represents the complex inner feelings experienced by Sheryl. Deeply, this song portrays her anxiety.
They ask me how you do, I'm only anxious, afraid of what they say if I ain't famous, cause the only answer to it is I'm tired of this life.
Anxiety begins from her fast-paced life cycle as a musician, artist, and entertainer. She mentions it in the first verse.
Tone it down now, baby, slow it down, how feels a little foreign, gets a little boring.
That verse also expresses her feeling of alienation from herself.
You gotta be yourself now, baby, feel yourself free from the crowd.
She acknowledged that the more she lives in that fast-paced life, the more she loses her true inner self and identity. To cope with that alienation, Sheryl implements defense mechanism that is called regression. Regression is the state to retreat and enable a person to psychologically go back in time to a period when the person felt safer.
Alone until the morning, I think I'm getting worried.
This action can make herself safer from her anxiety, which is the fear of rejection.
Will they take me back when I find enough of myself? Or will they let me down with a no?
She is afraid that she won't be accepted in the society she tries to retreat from. Once she feels safer and finds her inner feeling back, she shows how she overcome it by telling herself that it's okay if things don't work or flow the way she wants it to be.
You could just stay home, it's okay.
This is also the grand theme of the song, the act of self-healing by doing self-love not to push her ego to achieve what she desires. Even if she shows a positive way of living, Sheryl also indirectly reveals how psychologically destructive she is. Her desire to focus on her goodness makes her neglect the others.
If I tear it, I'll try again tomorrow. Call it a day, the bitter swallow. Focus on me, don't need nobody to tell me between right or wrong, it's just me.
This verse shows how Sheryl becomes a self-centered person, which is in contrast with the depiction of herself in the intro. She refuses others' opinion to tell the value of things or actions she is doing. The bigger corruption of herself are shown in the rest of the songs that mostly highlight love as the main narration. The key point Sheryl wants to eradicate from her life is her crush or boyfriend. It is clearly portrayed in the third track, titled Bye. The first verse shows how Sheryl tells the guy not to let Sheryl go further to have a relationship with him. She also intends to move on from the guy.
I'll walk away cause I should, won't look back though I could. No, won't look, don't climb me with what's good. Don't look at me with your eyes, only back one last time I must say I'm tired.
The chorus of the song shows how Sheryl tries to convince and embrace herself to let the relationship over. She represents herself as someone who dares and shows to take that decisive action. The decisive action is caused by her realization. She realizes that she won't have a chance to maintain a relationship with the guy even if she fights for it. The main reason is that the love she fights for is a triangle love.
Don't tell me about the three. We know it's impossible to play a symphony, 'cause I'm not yours.
She finds that it is impossible to proceed the relationship based on the guy's desire. The impossibility also confirmed by the fact that Cheryl's nobody but just a friend, as a friend with benefits.
We were meant to be just friends with benefits, but nothing.
In this verse, Sheryl mentioned about the term friends with benefit, which tend to have a divergent meaning in Indonesia compared to its definition in Western countries. So, Sheryl leaves her audience to guess which friends with benefit terms she refers to. Her frustration on this toxic relationship leads Sheryl to her final decision.
Everything must come to an end, and I cannot go on pretending. Got to let you go. There's no room for me, I know. I'm better off alone.
She decided her step to get rid of the toxic things and people near her. She feels the doubt. The doubt is clearly noticeable from the first two lines of the song.
Can't say I don't miss you. Can't say I don't care.
It is a proof that she can't deny her true feeling that she is fighting with herself to form her ego in this matter. The contradiction she experiences results in Sheryl to convince herself to end the contradiction she is struggling with.
I've got to move on and give up on you, though I still want you back.
The song is truly about how Sheryl convinced herself to let the guy go by spitting his faults in the past as her validation that her action to leave is worth doing.
You say that you were sorry to do it again. Keep playing with the heart 'cause you think that you
The
can.
mistakes repeatedly made by the guy becomes the reason not to proceed her relationship with him. She also refers to the act of the guy that perceiving women's feeling lightly. Another reason Sheryl decides to cut this person off of her life is that the fact that the guy doesn't find any satisfaction even she has been in a relationship with someone.
'Cause you would go around to feel more like a man, and I can't be a part of it.
Sheryl associates the act of chasing partners when already having one is contradicting to her conscience. So that's why she won't take any part in the act. Because of that guy doesn't worth her attention anymore, she reaches to the step when she is moving on and finds someone new. Diving deeper to Sheryl's complex love story, the fifth track of the album reveals her attempt to move on. The Java marks that Sheryl has managed to move on until the point when she has found someone new and their relationship has become intimate. Intimacy might be the case Sheryl is seeking for because it contains physical touch, which is the one element that can raise Sheryl's adrenaline.
Make my pulses come rushing. You always let me alone. My breath when it comes to you.
This feeling has never been experienced by Sheryl before, which leads her to confusion and doubt on what she must do within her feeling. It makes her cautious on the future of her relationship.
It's a surprise, never been this way before, so I won't jump to conclusions. Tell you some truth, like how I feel for you.
Even if they have gone further and more intimate, Sheryl can't lie to herself that she doesn't have the love for him. She keeps her true feeling in secret because she doesn't want to lose him. But at the same time, she can't get over her past lover because everything's done with her new partner leads her back to the memory lane.
Boy, I'm not even loving you, but all I do is think of you.
Ironically, it's similar with what she states in I Wish I Knew Better, when she says that she can't be part of someone who is taking over feeling lightly. But turns out, this song vividly puts Sheryl in that spotlight. To avoid hurting and wasting herself, Sheryl decided to cut her new partner because every single actions they do led her to reminiscence her past lover. And the more she recalls her past lover, the more vivid the memories that feels familiar to her, as if it is a deja vu.
You got me feeling deja
When she's trying her luck with that new person, Sheryl is stricken with reminiscing on her past partner, which leads to the way she tries to cope with this complex feeling in the next song. The song continues Cheryl's venture to end her relationship. In the song, Cheryl shows her weakest self as a person who is doing anything recklessly without concerning on the cause and effect.
I just wanna lose my mind, get caught up in the feeling.
Cheryl wants to listen to her feeling instead of her mind, because her mind has been working hard to think of what others think of her, to think of her fame, her true identity, and her love.
We need to let go sometimes. No, we don't need a reason.
The act of letting go may also indicate another core issue she is experiencing, which is fear of intimacy. Sheryl has a big fear that she will hurt him and she will get hurt if she keeps fighting for the love, and eventually this action failed by the man.
I don't even got your number. Let a boy go ahead and wonder.
The feeling expressed by the man shows that Sheryl is walking away from him. This action once again indicates how Sheryl used her defense mechanism, which is regression, to make herself feel safer and to avoid walking on the same wrong path. And now Sheryl feels something is missing. Loneliness is the boldest feeling presented in this track. It is clearly shown in the first verse.
'Cause baby, it's so cold in a house without you. Come here, I need my friends again.
She feels a hole in her life after she cuts herself from her closest people and relationship. Even if Cheryl begs to be embraced by her friends again, Cheryl still shows her self-centered person.
Put myself first, know what I'm worth. I'm not afraid to lose all my.
It shows that even if her closest people gather around her, Cheryl would still put herself first among others. To see her true self, Cheryl also acknowledges another defense mechanism she performs: denial. Denial is a refusal to accept reality, thus blocking external events from awareness. In the song, Cheryl performs denial to avoid herself feeling guilty on the trials she made. The end of the track also shows how Cheryl performs another regression. She acknowledges that she feels tired with the regression she's been doing from the people and events she considers as a threat to her inner self. To make herself feel less lonely, Cheryl attempts to reach people who were close to her, especially her past lover. This last track of the album shows the most vulnerable side of Cheryl. The needy and dependable side of Cheryl are boldly presented here.
I need your voice before bed. I miss all of the sweet things you say.
The first two lines of the song obviously indicates how Cheryl let her guard down to her past lover by letting him know her true feeling after all this time trying to push him away. The way Cheryl reaches him is based on one major reason: the feeling she obtained from him.
'Cause I just can't believe it. You make me feel I'm needed.
With him, Cheryl feels the feeling to be needed and to be valued, which is the feeling she hasn't experienced ever since she left him. Besides obtaining the feeling to be needed, she also gets another fundamental feeling from him, the feeling of less lonely.
Although you drive me crazy, I never feel lonely.
It also shows her vulnerability since in the first place. Cheryl perceives that the things he's doing are not in line with her conscience, which leads her to feel frustrated and crazy. But those negative actions seems nothing compared to his ability to make her less lonely. In the end of the track, ended with a clip from a call which, if you press the repeat button, the last track of the album will seamlessly flow into the first track of the album. This loop or cycle may indicate that this album represents Cheryl's life that is stuck and or trapped in a loop from being strongly believed on herself to find a realization, to retreat from toxic people and society, to feel regret, to find reminiscing a good time, to feel the hollow and lonely, to show her most vulnerable side, and going back to show her strongly believe in herself.